Let's turn now to Michigan 211. We have Chad Veeser on from Michigan 211, a very important resource there. Chad, good morning to you. In this context, what services can you provide those folks that may be evacuating?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. And I guess the critical thing to understand when we do work with 211 is to have another person on the line that's trained, that's going to speak with the person, and then find, at least in this situation, sheltering where it exists. And then when people come back to their homes, then they have a chance to report damage, find people to help clean up their homes, that kind of information.
Yeah, so again, this is going to be a trusted voice on the other side of that line, helping those folks that are really going through a tough time. You know, can you give us an example of like someone calling 211? What would they ask for in this scenario?
I mean, for evacuations, it's obviously going to be sheltering. That's going to be a big one off the top of the line. So when you're speaking with a person, they're going to walk through what options are available. But, you know, usually beyond that, there's some few other steps that you might need, whether, you know, it's going to be a long-term sheltering. You know, there are a host of resources that are out there. Those things change by the day. So having a person there that's going to talk with you to find what is real and what is accurate is a critical piece when you're in crisis like that.
Yeah, and you know, a critical resource too. And we noticed that 211 was actually listed on the community outreach, or I guess the post that emergency service managers had sent out. 211's a listed resource there. I'm not sure if you're able to tell me, has 211 already been getting calls from folks there in Newaygo County?
Yes, everywhere. Newaygo and beyond the area. So it's getting busier, for better or for worse. You know, and sometimes other lines get filled. People are calling 911 or emergency management offices. But to help them to do life-saving in the moment, and if you have the questions, 211's the place to go to.
Okay, yeah, it's a good resource to have on hand. Again, it's just 211 there, 3 numbers, they're right next to each other, something people should really take down.
Now, what are sorts of things that you are all taking into consideration when someone calls? Like, for example, you know, there's a difference between someone who's calling who maybe has a family of 4 and animals and they need help versus maybe someone who's by themselves or an elderly person. What are the types of different situations that you guys help them through?
I mean, you pegged it. That's exactly the issues to work through. Some people don't have transportation, you know, so you might have to connect a way for a person to actually drive away from the home. Different shelters have different requirements. You know, some of them allow pets. It's not something that you just preload into a data system and you forget about. It's something that, as I mentioned earlier, changes. So making sure that you're able to have a conversation and then max it up for resources. Or if that resource doesn't exist, make sure that we're getting that information to emergency management as soon as possible so we can find help for a person.
You know, what are some of the other services that people along the Muskegon River who are evacuating right now may need to take advantage of with you guys? Is there anything else that you think people should know about with the 211 service that if they're on the line with an operator, they should ask about?
I mean, you can ask about getting into the longer-term recovery, too. If you're evacuating, if your house does, you know, end up with water damage, it's a long process, right, to go through cleanup. You might not have the resources available right away to work through some of that. So finding some of those resources out there, volunteer groups that help to clean up, you know, whether it's food and clothing. That's what 211 is. It's a health and human services hotline. So, you know, working through some of those long-term needs is where the real work starts to happen as well.
Yeah, can you talk about some of the area partners that you guys have that help people get directly connected with the resources that are available?
Yeah, it's a lot of sheltering in this moment. So American Red Cross and other volunteer groups are called VOADs. So voluntary organizations that are active in disaster. I work with them and work on a board with them to make sure that we're plugging resources in as possible. You know, your community action agencies, your local United Ways, and there's that list starts to get long. We could be here for a while. But that's the kind of groups of people that really start to activate beyond just emergency management offices about this time of the year, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a well-connected resource that can help in a lot of ways.
So you had mentioned that along the Muskegon River in Newaygo County, you're yielding calls, but what are some of those other locations that you're answering lines from?
So we cover the entire state, if that's what you're asking. So
yeah,
I live up in the
Are you
River
still
City area.
yielding a lot of flooding calls from different locations too?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately. Grand Traverse County, Mayo, Sheboygan, the UP. It's been a busy couple days.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. Well, Chad, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else we didn't ask you that you think is important for the folks of Newaygo County that are evacuating right now that you think that they should know?
I think emphasizing that it's as easy as 211, just those 3 digits. If you want to text us, it's 898-211. Please use us.
All righty. Chad with Michigan 211, we appreciate your time and thank you so much for the valuable resource that those folks, again, sounds like they're already taking advantage of that. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.